Striking workers in Osun State under the aegis of Joint Negotiation Council have suspended their three-day industrial action. The suspension comes after the labour unions and the state government entered into a memorandum of understanding regarding the demands of the workers. The chairman of the union, Jacob Adekomi, says that government has agreed to pay the full salary for the month of December from the third tranche of the Paris Club refund to the state. Adekomi explains that the government has also approved the immediate release of 1 billion naira to cover bond certificates of public servants who retired on contributory pension scheme, while pensioners would no longer receive half payment henceforth. Well, according to him, government has also lifted an embargo on promotion, confirmation of appointments, advancement and inter-cadre conversion. Some indigents of the oil-producing communities in Ondo State are alleging that appointments into the board of the Niger Delta Development Commission, the NDDC, is lopsided and favouring some states in the region above the others. A representative of the oil-producing communities, Ayenuberu Eganosi, maintains that in accordance with Section 4, subsection 1 of the NDDC Act 2000, Delta State should produce the next chairman of the commission, while the managing director should come from Ondo State. He appealed to the federal government to avert crisis in the area and demanded that the Senator Odo Udoma Egba-led board in the commission should vacate office since its tenure has ended since December the 8th, 2017. Let's quickly shift gears now as we move on to business news with Ann Waudo.
Thanks a lot, Gimba, and welcome to Business News. Listed equities on the Nigerian Stock Exchange should sustain the uptrend into 2018 on expectations of lower interest rates by the Central Bank's Monetary Policy Committee in the first quarter. And this comes as the stock market's main index ended the last trading day of 2017 up by 0.66%, while the listed equities climbed by 43% in the outgoing year, and that's its biggest rally since 2013. And just this week, Nigeria's stock market was rated among the world's top 5 best-performing stock markets for 2017, driven by the investors and exporters window of the forex market, tax cuts and loan guarantee program for small businesses by the government. Traders and analysts are also optimistic that the market will rise further by 10% and hit the 42,000 psychological level within the first quarter of 2018. And while we expect a better 2018 for the stock market, let's find out how the exchange's latest review of the NSE 30 and its 7 sectoral indices performed. And some of the changes made include the entry of Dangote Flour Mills, Nascon Allied Industries and Diamond Bank into the NSE 30 index, and the exit of Owando, 7-Up Bottling Company and UACN from the index, while others are the entry of Northern Nigeria Flour Mills into the NSE Consumer Goods Index and the exit of 7-Up Bottling Company. On the NSE Insurance Index, Equity Assurance will be coming in, while Mutual Benefits Assurance, Regency Alliance Assurance and Universal Insurance Company will be going out. Eterna is joining other listed companies on the NSE Oil and Gas Index, while Owando will be exiting. The composition of these indices will take effect from January the 1st, 2018. President Muhammadu Buhari has reaffirmed his commitment to continually review and strengthen ongoing reforms in the agricultural sector until Nigeria regains its pride of place as a food exporting nation. The president told a delegation in Abuja on Friday that the country's huge rice import bill, which has gone down by more than 90%, is not good enough. Although President Buhari acknowledges that the country's agricultural sector has improved significantly, he says that his administration will not be satisfied until Nigeria starts exporting food. The president has also commended some state governments for their efforts in turning the agricultural sector around, with more youths now having interest in entrepreneurship. And that's business news, the last one for the year 2017. Have a profitable 2018. I'm Anne Nwawadu. It's back to you, Gimba.
"2017 brought mixed feelings to sports in Nigeria while fans celebrated Super Eagles for qualifying for the World Cup. For about a year, the Super Falcons have been inactive. The country also made records after qualifying for the bobsleigh event for next year's Winter Games in Pyongyang. On this report, our sports correspondent Austin Okonakpan highlights the major talking points for the year 2017.
Nigeria's sports scene had a lot of talking points, but one of the majors was the dramatic federation's elections in Abuja.
No election! Unless they give me my quotation, I give others. No election!
That star performance was from the Athletics Federation, and it looks like it affected their outing at the World Championship.
Issues happened and we were not able to pick, even if it's a bronze. So for me, it's not been a very good year for athletics, but I guess we're looking forward to 2018.
After the elections, some federations got down to business and achieved remarkable success in administration and field events.
I think we've successfully used this period to be able to calm down frayed nerves. The referees are ready to work again. The coaches are ready to work again. They are just waiting for the board to come out with this program.
We intend to play in so many tournaments, both outside and within. We want to have senior championships and then age grade, very critical, grassroots. We want to go for the children.
No doubt whatsoever.
The D-Tigers showed class to win the women's Afro-Basket title in Mali, but administratively, basketball in Nigeria is struggling.
I will not allow the athlete to suffer. We will not allow basketball to be suspended or even Nigeria to be banned for anything.
Wrestling also had a good year. In Paris at the World Championship, Oduayo Adekuroye became the first African to win a silver medal.
We also had another athlete at the World Championships wrestle for a bronze medal, something that has never happened where we've had two people in the same World Championships wrestle for medals. We went to the Islamic Solidarity Games, won 2 gold medals. We went to the African Championships, won 10 gold medals. We've done pretty well this year.
Aaron Okwadri also had a fine run this year. The Nigerian won the Polish Open in October and will end 2017 as world number 21.
The players, after they play, what next? A victory, how do you use that victory for positive ends? That's what it is. And I imagine that a government that is thinking should now fashion a vision. Next year is very crowded. Apart from the World Cup, there is the Commonwealth Game. The Commonwealth Game should be a medium-term assessment of our preparation for the Olympics in 2020.
The fans in the stands, not left out.
Whether we like it or not, football is the king of sports in Nigeria. And if you want to review 2017, we have to start from there. In my opinion, our greatest achievement, the highest point in 2017 was qualifying for the World Cup in 2018.
There are a few things that we need to improve on, and I'm sure we will do. For example, female football, we will get on it in 2018, I'm sure, a lot more. Most of the things outside of football, just improving the NFF generally, I think we've done well. I think 2017 has been a good year so far.
Hundreds of thousands of millions of Nigerian fans across the country celebrating.
The problems of infrastructure, players' welfare, and funding still persist. Despite the challenges, athletes strive to win medals for the country. Will 2018 tell a different story? We'll be watching. Austin Okonakpan, Channels Television News.
Well, joining us on the news at 10 to review sports in Nigeria in 2017 is the sports administrator, Bukola Olokbade. I want to thank you so much indeed for joining us on the news at 10. You've just heard Austin and his roundup for 2017. But to you, how have we fared in sports?
I thought that the report aptly captured what we've done this year. obviously, starting with the huge success of qualifying for the World Cup, that should be the start of our performance indicators for 2017. Personally, I strongly believe we did better than 2016, either on the field of play or administratively. You need to take a good look at the sort of results that were churned out by the Wrestling Federation. Even athletics was complaining, but hey, you must also remember that 2 major athletics events in this country got unique labels from IAAF. Okpekpe 10-kilometer road race and the Lagos City Marathon all got labeled, which is something that is unique to road races. And that credit must go to the Athletics Federation. But of course, with the qualification of the World Cup, that was the icing. It would have been a very disastrous year for sports in general if we did not qualify for the Football World Cup. Whether you like it or not, football remains the father of all sports in the country.
So talk to us about funding then. Why do we get the impression that sports is not really funded?
I think in 2017, there was a quantum leap from 2016 again. I know that because my company is seriously involved in sports marketing. So I know when you look at the figures that came out from the private sector in 2017, they can do better when you compare to countries like South Africa, Egypt, Algeria. Yes, the private sector can do better in supporting sports funding. I've never been an advocate of getting funding from government. Even as a sitting commissioner, never looked at government funding. But when you look at the results again, this year has been very wonderful for virtually every sport. Money trickled in compared to the very scarce resources that came in 2016. Looking forward, yes, more can be done. But I want to thank the private sector for taking part in, for playing a huge role in supporting sports funding in 2017.
Well, there are major international sporting events in 2018. Austin also made mention of that in his report. But do you think that we are prepared for them as we have been in, say, the early 80s, or should I say the 90s now, when we went to international engagements and came back with trophies?
I believe for the Commonwealth Games, the sort of preparation that analysts, journalists, stakeholders tend to talk about are missing. But you must also remember that we've attended a lot of events, a lot of competitions, locally, internationally, this year. That should transcend into a success story for the Commonwealth Games coming up in April in Australia. Wrestling, for example, if wrestling is attending the Commonwealth Games, one would expect something decent to come out of wrestling. Ditto athletics. So I'm optimistic about next year. Football, the World Cup is massive, but I think I speak the mind of millions of Nigerians when I say the Amaju Pinnick-led board have done enough to prepare us for the World Cup in 2018, and I expect a huge success story to come out of that. But don't also forget that Nigeria will be hosting the Senior Athletics Championship in Asaba next year. I'm part of that. I'm part of the local organizing committee. My company, we are the consultants, the market consultant for that event. A lot of preparations are going to it. That is an event that must show athletics, the Athletics Federation, that they are doing their job in a way that will make Nigerians proud. I'm very optimistic about the outlook for 2018.
That's what we're going to have to leave it. I want to thank you so much indeed, Bukola Olopade, for talking to us. He's indeed a sports administrator. We'll be back after in just a moment. Still ahead on the news at 10, more on sports as former world #1 Serena Williams suffers defeat on her comeback from maternity break at the Abu Dhabi